We gonna make it, ooh, we gonna make it. I kept my soul no matter how hard that they try to take it. Ooh, we gonna make it, ooh, we gonna make it. Got that and I by my side, ain't no way that you can fade it. Listen, you can't hold me down.
Thanks so much for coming to the house. You guys are amazing. So why don't you just tell me, what have you achieved, and then we can go through and unravel how you did it. What have you achieved in the last sort of 3-6 months in property?
Yeah, so we came to the crash course 6 months ago, and since then we've achieved 4 rent-to-rent SAs.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we're financially free now, so that's why we come out here to thank you pretty much, and just to say thank you for all your training, and yeah, we're looking to build on that and move forward.
And honestly, the growth of you as people as well. Like, you've been on stage, like you've really stepped out of your comfort zone.
It was nerve-wracking, wasn't it?
Honestly, I could never imagine ever going on that stage. And when I said it the other day with the microphone, I was like, so scary.
But it's good to get comfortable being uncomfortable, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like the whole aspect of it is to be uncomfortable. You're always nervous because it's something new, doing something new all the time. So yeah, we're enjoying everything.
And you only got married in August. So again, massive congrats.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
It almost wasn't a wedding, was it?
How do you mean?
We went to the crash course the last weekend of July.
I know what you're going to say. You're going to say you used your wedding money.
Maybe.
Come on, tell me.
So it was Saturday or the Friday, either or. So we had our interviews for the academy, and Shanelle came back and she was like, come on the back, you were on stage, she was like, come with me. So I went out and she was like, so are we going to do this? And originally she was just going to sign up alone, and I was like, I can't stay at home while you're living your life in London. And I was like, no, if we're going to do it, we'll do it together. So we went through the payments and stuff, and she was like, we need to do it. And we were like, yeah, we'll just do it. We had to pay the last payment for the wedding on the Monday. And then we were like, that's the only money we had. Yeah. So we were like, if we don't do it now, we're never going to do it. So we just thought, we'll pay it now, and then when we get home, we'll figure it out. So we just did it, and we did, didn't we? Like, we managed, paid the wedding, got married.
We thought when we make it, then we can get married again.
So you're gonna have like a big kind of official wedding day, where you do all the fancy, stuff, but you've officially got married. Yes. Although you didn't have like a fancy wedding because you used all of your money on my training. Yes. But you know what? You know how that makes me feel? It makes me feel really good, because I think that it's interesting because, and you've heard me say this, a bank will lend you money for a wedding, but they would have never lent you money for my program, because they'd have said that my program's too high risk.
Exactly. So we had to tell a fib. We went to the bank.
Oh no! Now, la 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 la. Oh, so you got a loan to get married and then used that. So, oh my goodness.
We used them on our rent essays.
We were like, what's the point in just having like a massive wedding? We love each other. We don't need to like have this huge wedding. And why waste all the money? So we just had a little wedding and then just invested it into property.
Was it worth it?
Definitely.
Millions.
Tell me about what your experience has been on the training on the academy over the last 6 months.
The people we've met are incredible, all supportive. We're all on a mission together really to make our lives better, and we all acknowledge that, and we're all trying to help each other on that way to financial freedom really. The knowledge that we've got has been outstanding.
Like Rent to Rent was the first course that was like a week after we signed up, and we were like so nervous, and as soon as we left there we were like, this is possible, like we can do this. And then just emailing like landlords, had one come through and we were like, this is crazy, how is this happening to us?
It's funny actually, because on the way up here today, Kelly is the rent-to-renter, so she shoots out all the emails, and you got speaking to a landlord a couple of weeks ago, didn't you?
Yeah.
Months ago even, and he said, right, this property's gone, but I've got another one that's being refurbed at the moment, and it's a penthouse in Cardiff. It's going to be like a high-end one, and he literally just messaged today saying the refurb's finished, could you come and view it, like we want you to have it.
So definitely being kept in mind, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're literally, without the training, I don't think we'd be sat here, would we?
No,
like,
not at all.
There's no way.
Learning how to speak to landlords, speak to agents, negotiating.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy as well is that when I messaged you a few days ago, I sent you a voice note on, I think it was Instagram, which I'm loving now. I love Instagram because I saw you share a story on there, and I met you at the training. Was it the deal selling masterclass?
Yes.
And you were really like doing well, and I could see your energy. I just thought, oh, these guys are so cool. And I sent you a voice note, and I was like, hey, we should hook up sometime. I'm here for you. And I don't message everybody saying that.
No.
You know,
we knew that. We were like,
yeah. No. So it's like, we should hook up sometime, we should meet or whatever. And then you responded and you were like, oh, did you not know? I'm actually going to be at your house in a few days. And I had no idea.
it was crazy.
It was so funny. We
You
were
were
like,
like, he can't know. He can't know we're going there.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
So I was really, and then when you said I'm actually at your house, I was just like, so cool. So it's great to have a chance to talk to you. So talk to me then, the 4 rent-to-rents, are they rent-to-serviced accommodation or rent-to-HMO?
Yeah, rent to service accommodation.
What's the regulation in Wales around that?
There isn't really. No.
So it's not like London,
No. Oh no.
because London there's the whole 90-day rule, and so the only thing you need to look out for then is just are these apartments or houses?
Yes.
So it's just the head lease, the mortgage, the basic stuff. But in terms of licensing and planning permission, there's nothing like that, which is cool. And whereabouts in Wales? Cardiff.
So we've got one in Swansea and one in Cardiff. Yeah. So
we found really good landlords, didn't we? So the first one we found, she has 9 properties. The block where we have the one, she owns the whole block, and she's got more. Yeah. So she was like,
Yeah, totally.
yeah.
And this is the 2 landlords we've got. They both
exactly
own the
same.
whole blocks.
Yeah.
Which is a massive advantage.
Yeah. So they both got the leaseholds, the freehold, and they said to us, you can have the whole block.
Yeah.
So we're just waiting. They're just sort of phasing out their tenants now.
Once you can get in with people like because I know so many developers and they just buy these build these big blocks. There's no mortgage, there's no lease issues. They own the whole thing, and once you don't need many.
No.
That's one thing. Yeah, that's one thing we learned from the deal
Especially-
selling. They said that as soon as you get in with developers, you can promise them the guaranteed rent and everything. This it's 2 people coming together getting a win-win every time.
Definitely the second landlord.
The thing that the developer doesn't want is any maintenance, hassle, issues. And I think with rent-to-rents as well, the really interesting thing is that people, when they start out on rent-to-rent, especially if they've not properly done the training, is they feel like a bit of a naughty, dirty person trying to hoodwink someone into letting them control a property illegally. And it's like, that is totally not what it is. This is a professional service to busy developers or landlords, which is win-win business. So as long as you've got, and one of the things that we do on the rent-to-rent revolution that you did, like in what month was it? October, whenever it was. August when you did the track. Wow, a long time ago. Is to write down all the benefits to the landlord, and it's to work out what for you. And every business has got different benefits. So you two as a power couple will have different levels of skill that you'll be able to offer people. So it's great. Where do you live?
We live just outside of Cardiff.
Yeah.
So there's a place called Barry. Beach. So we got the beach, the airport, and Cardiff literally within
Yeah, it's a good location, isn't it?
I think Wales has got so much opportunity for property in general.
I mean, stats wise, it's really good. The town we're from, Barry, has actually had the biggest rise in house prices in the whole of the UK. But it was
Really? 10%. In the last how long? That's incredible.
Yeah,
so good. It's lovely.
Even in London as well, 7% of properties in London City are on Airbnb.
That's mad.
And even though there's the 90-day rule,
Yeah.
because sometimes what people will do is they'll put it on Airbnb for up to the 90 days, and then they'll just put short-term AST contract tenants in, and then they'll just keep doing that to maximise the cash flow. But the government are getting irritated by all the people that are doing Airbnbs, but it's like, well, of course we're going to do that because it's profitable.
Exactly.
Because you've made buy-to-let less profitable with Section 24. Thank you. And now you're upset. You know.
Because we're getting around it.
Yeah.
We're getting upset.
They are. But they'll always do that, and I think that right now service accommodation is a great strategy.
Yeah.
So talk to me about the figures then. So did you say you got 4 properties?
Yes.
But you got 1 in Cardiff, 1 in Swansea. What about the other 2?
Yeah. So the 3, it's a block of 3 in Cardiff.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry, got ya.
We went to view the second one in Cardiff, and to be honest, it was pretty much ready to go, wasn't it? So we did like a little touch up here and there, and the landlord was like, I've got another 2 in this block. He said they're not ready to be viewed, but if you can look past it. So we looked at them, and he was like, I've had somebody view it today. They want to have it for 6 months. He said, but if you want to take all 3, then you can have them. So yeah, we just took that, and that cost us 4,000 to do minor
All 3, wasn't it? Really, yeah.
Is that each or is that all? Oh, that's all 3. Oh, it's not bad. And what was that?
Bargain hunters.
Yeah. I've seen you on your Facebook with your
Yeah.
really cheap, lovely furniture, but on a budget. Yeah. So what did that 3,000? What was the breakdown of that?
What the costing?
Yeah, was that like all the furniture, or was that?
Yeah. It was literally just furniture because we had 3 weeks free rent and no deposit. Nice. So it was literally just furnishing the place.
Do you know what? Negotiating that on my videos where I've shown people me getting rent to rent, people almost don't believe. They're like, "What landlord would give you a free period of rent? What landlord would not make you pay a deposit?" And it's like, well, there are landlords out there.
Yeah, because there's a lot of landlords that are sort of switched on and want to look after their pennies and everything, but there are some landlords that have got other things going on, like it's their side hustle. That's what the landlord said to us. This is just my bank, my bank to go in. And we were like, we'll pay into it. That's fine. But he's coming into ours as well. So
he's got another 2. So it's a block of 5. So we've got 3 at the moment, and then he said the other 2 are meant to be moving out February, March, so we can have them as well if you want them. Which would be really good because then
we got the whole block.
But
it's advantageous actually because we've got it all on one advertisement online. So then big bookings can stay. I think we can host like 14 people, and we've got those type of bookings.
It's handy having 3 in one block, because also if you've got a double booking or anything like, there's a lot of advantages. So amongst the 4 rent to rents, what's your, and I know it will vary month to month, because if it's a quiet month it'll be less, if it's a really good month it could be crazy, but averaged over the year, what's your profit each month?
So we're more than happy taking just under 2,000. And that was our financial freedom figure, and anything over that now will be a bonus from it.
Roughly. And with the Swansea ones, was like 2, 4 from all of them. That's like half occupancy, isn't it? That should place that income. Like we quit our jobs, haven't we now? So we're just full-time property, which is like a dream.
So cool.
I feel like we're in a dream. I'm like, somebody pinch me. We've only got 4 properties. I can't imagine.
And we actually passed it on to a management company, so it is completely passive now at the moment.
Oh, so that 2,000 or whatever it is, maybe just over around 2,000. That is actually without you doing anything. That's cool.
It's really good.
So what, the cleaners?
Yeah. So it's a funny story that I'm telling about our cleaner in Cardiff.
Tell me everything.
I don't know where to start. So the cleaner is my brother.
Okay.
He it's really good. He was homeless. He sent me a message on Facebook, didn't he?
Yeah.
Saying, hi, hope you're well, blah blah blah. And I was like, this is random. So I went and picked him up, and he was like, I've been homeless for 8 months, living on the streets, like on drugs, crazy life. And we didn't have a clue, did we? We were just living our life, and I was like, this is not okay. So we picked him up. He stayed with us, got him a bed, sorted him out. And he's getting his life on track now, so he is our cleaner. So he started his own company being our cleaner, which is amazing for him.
I just wanted to give him purpose, really.
Yeah, and so he's going to take out more essays, and like not essays, like cleaning more essays in Cardiff. I know, it's really sad, isn't it? But
because the Swansea essay, we found it tough finding a cleaner that actually was suited to serviced accommodation down there, and the ones that weren't costing an arm and a leg and things like that. So having a cleaner on site, that sort of is built now. It's just like developed into how we're going to structure our business. So we're going to have like a mother company with other companies underneath, and then things like the cleaners, the maintenance will feed and so as long as it's better having in-house. Because he lives with us too, so so he's like on board. He wants to get his own properties, doesn't he, in the future? He's just figuring himself out.
He's shy. Like, why are you shy? Just put yourself out there. Like, property is amazing, but definitely.
It's great that you've managed to use your business to actually help bring employment to or self-employment, but to one of your family members who was really in need. That's such a cool story.
That's the plan as well, because he also has got experience with HMOs and how it feels being homeless and the system basically. And how it does fail. Like with the stuff we've heard, like it sucks. The system just fails people so much. So
what do you mean by that?
So he was in prison, wasn't he? And then he came out of prison, and there's no support for people that had come out of prison. So he had no choice but to sleep on the streets as soon as he came out of prison. So so then that's just how it builds. But even when you're in a situation where you're going to lose your house and stuff like that, like there's no support to maybe put someone into a HMO or whatever, just to try and help people. Because I think it's tough. it's tough for people to sort of survive when you're on minimum wage.
Oh yeah, it is. Well, cost of living has gone up a lot, but salaries haven't.
It's scary. That's what I don't like about it.
That's why we like started out in property, because we were like, how are we ever going to be able to manage our lives with minimum wage? And if you want kids,
we had rental. We rented, didn't we?
Yeah.
To start with, and we were literally just existing because we were getting paid, and then all our bills would come out, and then we had no money to live off. So we were like, right, we're not doing this. And then we went out travelling. Didn't we? And we went to Australia, and they had crazy wages. They're on double what you are here for like minimum wage. We were like, oh my god, this is amazing. So we started hustling, and was like, oh my god, 60-hour weeks, love the money. And then I got tired, and I was just like looking at the people, because I was working in a restaurant, and all these people would come in and spend just as much as I was earning, just eating out every week. And I was like, what are you doing? So I started speaking to them, and I was like, what do you do? And they were investors, and they had the time in an amazing country to be able to go and do whatever they wanted. And so I thought, I need to learn how to get passive income. So then I started Googling, and that's when I found you and other books and things like that. I started reading. Then we came home, had nowhere to live again, so back to 60 hours a week, hustling, and we saved £6,000 to go and buy a house. And we did the Help to Buy. This was actually before we knew about you, and we came back and it was like, Shanelle Leeds, oh my god, what have we done? We've got a house on Help to Buy. Oh my god. And then so now we're just trying to get out of that pickle as well, really. But we're gonna rent a place.
I mean, how did you go? It's so interesting because I mean, I think you're right. I think that the system is created for people to be poor, and I think it's because if you're wealthy, then the government cannot control you, and the Help to Buy scheme is about control.
1,000,000%.
It's completely about control. So they'll sucker you into a scheme, and then suddenly they tell you exactly what to buy, and it has to be a new build, and it has to do this, and you can only save this much in an ISA, and it's just totally there. You know, the whole system is like work really hard at school and then get a job for life, which by the way doesn't exist. You know, the whole thing is so flawed, and sometimes that can lead to serious problems. Like you've talked about your brother who was literally on the streets, which is terrible, and homelessness is on the rise. But then also as well, so a lot of people are just almost kept in that just comfortable enough stage, you know, where it doesn't hurt bad enough for them to say, actually, you know what, I'm going to get trained, I'm going to get educated, I'm going to do something different. But at the same time, you know, they're just there in this rat race.
It's horrendous.
It is, but like how did you go from in that, you know, trap of being a slave to a job, working 60 hours a week with very little money, to then even just a mindset, like how did you, because I think it's how did you go from that to then financially free? I know you guys aren't rich, you're not making loads of money, but you're making a couple grand a month and it's passive, which is life-changing. How did that happen? I mean, what happened?
I think it is over time. You have just got to step back from your life and what you've got going on, because it can just consume you. And you're just not thinking about your future, you're just trying to get one day at a time type thing.
For me, it was travelling. So we went travelling for a year. We had, like Shanelle said, we had good well-paid jobs, and then we came home and we were like, we're earning like £70 an hour, this is not okay. So we got another job each in a takeaway shop delivering pizza on Saturday nights and Friday nights, which it wasn't too bad, but we were like, this is not a life, like we can't live like this, we can't go and deliver pizza for the rest of our lives and leave our kids at home.
That's what it was, wasn't it? It was just thinking, actually, how the life we want to live, it isn't matching up to what we're doing right now, and something needs to change, because we wake up 6:30, leave the house at 7:30 in the morning, and we wouldn't be home till 11:30 at night because we were going to one job to the other. And so there's no way you can just maintain this for another 40-50 years.
And we were studying as well, I was studying as well, so we were just like, no time to do anything, did we? We didn't literally like see friends and family for like 3 months. We were just like work.
But we didn't really care because we had an end goal. We knew we needed to buy a house, but obviously the goal was a bit blurred vision type thing, because we were in desperation. It was a decision.
I think it's because we had each other as well. Like we'd wake up, like we don't really watch telly anyway, but you'd always be putting like your videos on like every day, wasn't it? And then just reading a book. I think you've carried us a lot because I'm like quite chilled and be like, oh, we'll just watch a film, and you'd be like, no, we can't. Like, we don't deserve to watch a film. We need to get educated. So I think it's just carrying each other along, wasn't it, a lot, and just pushing through it.
When you came to it's so interesting because it's very easy in a situation like that to almost become a victim of society and to say, you know what? Because I'll say the system sucks. The system's designed to make people poor, but that's not me saying that as a victim. That's not me saying so. It's so easy to become a victim, but what you guys have done is you've become like a victor. You know, through it, and you've acknowledged it. I mean, was there any point at the crash course where did I ever say anything that was like offended you or something that's just like what? Because I mean, or was it just like, you know what, this is so right?
Every time one of you, the speakers that were on stage, we were just like,
just sat there, jaws at the floor, and
you need. Some people just need to be spoken to like that, and I'm that type of person. Some people are just like, they're really hurt my feelings. But no, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, because I'll speak very direct. You know, this is how broke people think. This is how rich people think. And sometimes people can get offended by that. But, I mean, I think it's really amazing, you know, what you've achieved. What's been the hardest thing about building up your rent-to-rent portfolio?
For me, it was in the beginning. So we went on the rent-to-rent revolution in August. Because we got married, we were, like, really relaxed and we were just like, like, just in honeymoon period, weren't we? So we had, like, a few weeks off. And then just like the whole thing of like not feeling like we're not getting anywhere. And then as soon as we had people reply to us, we were like, oh my gosh, like, this is fine, we can do this. So it was the fact of like taking a few weeks for people to come back to us.
When you say come back to you mean landlords?
Landlords.
Okay,
yeah, replying to our messages. But as soon as people started replying to us, we were like,
it can be really easy to just fall at the first hurdle. From the first crash course to actually securing the deals and seeing the money coming in, it's tough. Like, because you don't know what direction you want to be going in, and I think that's probably that's the window where people will give up and then be like, oh no, I can't do it. Whatever.
Because when we first started, we thought, oh, we're going to be financially free in a few weeks.
The reality is.
Because you've seen me do that on YouTube.
And I think that's probably what some people are a bit
annoyed about, is that they think they can come to the crash course and then
be financially free. But it's just like being persistent, don't give up.
Because that's not really, I know people do that, people come and then a week later they're like, I'm not financially free, but it's like, I mean, I can do it in a week because I've been in the industry over a decade. But realistically, from a standing start, without any knowledge, you're not going to come to the crash course and be financially free in a week. It's just unrealistic. And that's why we generally speaking, you know, say give it a year. If you consistently put 7 or 8 hours a week, consistently for a year, and hey, you can do it faster. I mean, you guys have done it sooner than that. But it is, I guess, it can be. I mean, did you ever feel like giving up at any point?
No, never given up, but it was just like, oh, come on, like, when is this going to happen? But like I said, it probably took us about 3 months to actually find direction, to figure out actually what do we want to achieve. So we knew that we wanted to start acquiring assets, but to acquire assets, we weren't in a position to start just buying houses, so we needed cash flow. So we broke that down, and what achieves the highest cash flow? So we were like, SAs, HMOs, super rent. So we were like, okay, we'll go for that. And the only way the entry point for us would have been rent to rent, because we didn't have a lot of money to start off with. So that's where we are right now. We've completed that phase of our business, and now we're moving on to acquiring assets, which will be getting the capital together.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. It's just like you guys are the perfect case studies, really, because you are because you know, you came, you didn't have much finances. The small amount that you did have, you put above a wedding. I mean, talk about priorities.
But I mean, like,
it was
why does society make us think that you have to go out and spend 20 grand on a wedding? Like, it's bizarre. Like, you literally, it was a day, wasn't it? It was amazing, but it was just like, hi, I want to marry you. Yeah, let's get married, and that's it. So it's like, no, just use that money wisely.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do both, but if you have a choice between one or the other, hands down, I'd put it into my property investment business, into my education, hands down. Because then you'll have a great wedding day, but a miserable marriage because you're both working 60 hours a week.
Thank you.
And we've seen that.
Yeah.
We've seen that happen. Someone we know, they got married and they took out loads of debt, and then they're working 60 hours a week, and it just sucks.
Yeah.
And there's no point. Have you had any opposition from friends, family, people saying you're crazy?
Yeah. Every single day.
Oh, really?
We left the crash course and we went. They do like a little festival in our hometown called Glastonbury. Is it Glastonbury?
Yeah. So it's like a spin-off of Glastonbury.
Oh.
We went Glastonbury on the Sunday when we got back, and we told a family friend, and she was like, looked at us like,
You are insane. And we were like,
yeah, it's fine, we'll be fine. But I think because we're so young, we just like thought we can take the risk.
How old are you guys roughly?
I'm 25, she's 24.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're quite young. We don't have any real commitments. We just thought
I think that's one thing as well that we had on our side. And not everyone's in the same situation as us.
No.
We're young. We've got no commitments really.
yeah.
If you've got lots of kids and you've got a mortgage and you've got a really high paid job, it can actually be harder than when you're in a situation where you've got no money but you have got the courage and and I guess you've got commitment to each other and you had jobs. When did you quit your jobs?
So I was off on the sick when we went to the crash course because I had an operation, and I just didn't want to go back because I was just full of anxiety. The thought of every day was just like crippling, the anxiety of, what have I done wrong now? Like type thing. It was because I was working for Virgin Media, and it's like figures, and it's like that manager will be down on that manager and that manager's down, and we were at the bottom of the barrel. We were the ones that got blamed for absolutely everything wrong with the figures and everything like that because it all stemmed from us, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got it.
And you were at the crash course and you were just thinking, when did you have your operation? Just before?
yeah, it was in August. Yeah. June.
And what was the op?
So it's actually crazy because it's similar to something that my mum died from. It's my ovaries basically.
Yeah.
So my mum got pretty sick from that when I was younger, and so really that's burning inside me to make sure that I don't leave my children early and with nothing pretty much.
And do you think that that's helped in a way as motivation within the property business?
1,000,000%. I mean, I was 13, a single child, only child, and my mum died, and it was just like everything that I ever knew in life, where we lived, our little flat that we rented, it was all just gone. So I was just like, I don't want that to happen for my children.
Yeah.
And when did you two meet?
2015.
Okay, so like 5 years ago. Yeah. That was the year I got married.
Was it?
That was a magical year of love then.
It was. Cupid was like.
And when you got together and stuff and started building life together, did you ever think that you were going to be business people and successful? And
No, we didn't.
Never. I never thought we'd get married. Did you?
I did. I was putting a ring on it. Yeah. You just don't think.
Yeah.
How it's crazy how your life can change in even a matter of months, like 6 months. We're not even
If
relying
somebody told me 6 months ago you're going to be financially free, I'd be like, go away.
Yeah.
You're lying.
Yeah, because you just think it's impossible. It's not.
Yeah.
It can't be possible. So
yeah.
Would you say that the property business has it brought you closer together?
yeah, I mean we lean on each other a lot, don't we?
Yeah.
I think we blend well because I'm very it all has to be right, the figures need to be right and everything, and I'm pessimistic, she's like an optimistic.
And I also feel a little bit like from observation because I've spent time with you, I've seen your programs, so you're very facts, figures, kind of responsible. The responsible, right? Whereas Kelly, you're a very people person. You can win people over. You can negotiate a good deal. So I think so. So I can see why you're very successful together, and it's just so great. Seeing you do well, getting to know you. What's the plans for the future? So you're making a couple grand a month. You've got 4 rent to rent. So you've got the scale. Are you going to scale that? You said you're going to stop buying assets. You just did the deal selling masterclass. Yeah. So now, if you're seeing properties that maybe you can't quite afford to get, or it's out of your patch, I would always recommend selling them to other people. And I think we've just helped you with a website and stuff, which I'm going to totally leave in the description so people can find you and check you out. So talk to me about the assets that you're wanting to build yourselves.
So we've actually, Kelly's got a disabled cousin, so we're looking into the assisted living sector because we know that they're struggling, in our hometown anyway, they're struggling to have those type of properties and properties that are actually suited to them. So one aspect of our business is going to be, it's HMOs essentially, but it's for those vulnerable people out there that need it, and to be able to adjust the properties the way that they like it. So it'll be a bit of BRR. It's combining strategies. I just love it.
So important. You know what, people are, I'm so glad you said that, because people sometimes say to me, what would you recommend? Should I do this strategy, this strategy, this? And it's like, to be honest, you've got to sometimes just learn them all and then go and help people solve their property problems, and being open and holding the strategies up your sleeve and combining strategies. You know, like assisted living, we've got a lot of our properties on assisted living. HMO, but you can combine that with buy, refurbish, refinance, buy it, turn it into a HMO, then refinance it. So it's like a Burr property with an HMO in the middle. You know, you should do a lease. A lease option agreement. Have an option, buy a piece of land on an option, but then develop it, and then you combine development with option. You know, so, and I think, I mean, that's probably one of the great things about the academy, which is that you learn all the strategies.
It worked out really well for us, because we knew to quit our jobs we had to replace our income, so rent to rent, service accommodation. So that was in August, and then we sort of mastered that, didn't we? Yeah. So we're done with that now. We've got our cash flow, and then the next stage was deal sourcing, and then we had the deal selling mastery. We were like, this is perfect, everything in order, really.
Have you done infinite returns yet?
Do you know what? I think we have. But I can't.
You just don't even. It's all a blur.
Because we've been to crash courses as well.
Oh yeah.
Crash courses, so we're like.
Why do you keep going to the crash courses?
Network.
Okay,
And also to learn more, because when we learn more every time. We learned Ryan's on the last one. We learned so much again.
Ryan's awesome.
Yeah, I love
him. He's like a philosopher, isn't he? Like the stuff he comes out with, I'm just like, how did I not think of that? Like he just changes your perception.
And when people say to me, you know, oh Samuel, you're definitely going to be at the crash course. I say, I probably will be, but listen, don't come for me, come for you.
Yeah, I mean, you're awesome.
Thanks.
Ryan,
he's great.
We want to build our brand, network, and just keep learning, isn't it? Like we learn more every single event. We're like, this is. And
we'll get you out your comfort zone. I know at the last event we pulled you on stage.
That was so scary. I was like.
The thing is, right, the more you think about these things, the more it gets on top of you.
The worse it gets.
You just got to do it.
Just do it.
What's the worst? I always say, look at the best case, worst case, likely case. If the worst case is not that bad, just do it. If the worst case is, I'm going to end up bankrupt, then okay, maybe not. But if the worst case is, I'm going to look really stupid, or I'm going to get told no by, like, when you're ringing up landlords and you try and do rent to rents, what's the worst thing that can happen? The worst thing is that they'll just say, oh, off you go, I'm not interested. Okay, well, there's no wound.
No.
What's the problem? Just pick up the phone. And the reason that our courses, we get people to sometimes do crazy stuff, because sometimes people say, oh, they made me high five someone. It's like, because we want to create an atmosphere and an energy whereby you're prepared to do whatever it takes and you're prepared to be uncomfortable. And then when we start asking you to make phone calls to agents and stuff, and that's why our training gets the best results, because you're in that environment and actually doing it, you know.
It's like a family. I mean, we're in a room of 300 people at one point, and someone stands up and they're really nervous, and we're all cheering them on like, come on, you can do it. And it's just like, it's just that environment that we just love being in. That's why we keep going back to crash courses.
I always love it when I see you. I love it when I see you at crash courses though. I'm like, yes.
So when do you think, what are they doing here again?
No, I'm like, Shanelle and Kelly, yes. No, I love it. I think it's great.
We need a crash course.
We need a crash course, and then we'll just book on to the next one, won't we?
It's like a drug almost.
I was gonna say that, It is. And we're like, we need a crash course.
Yeah, and you probably won't, and some people might not quite get that. Some people might just think, you know what, I'm just going to sit back, take notes, gather the knowledge, and that's fine. Yeah. But then for me anyway, I just love being in an environment where people really want you to succeed. Yeah. And isolation is never a good place. Yeah. And especially when you've got family and friends, which generally people do have, saying, be careful,
Yeah, I had that. Be careful. I turned up to a family event and my auntie said to me, oh, I thought you'd turn up in a yellow 3-wheeler, Del Boy.
Wow. Yeah. That's how they see it though. They just see it like you're just like a bit of a crazy, desperate to try and make it. Yeah. But hey, proof of the pudding. And this is what normally happens. It starts off with be careful. Then it's, okay, well, let's just see. Let's wait and see. Yeah. So now it's probably at the we'll see stage. Yeah. I'm making a couple grand. We're full-time in property. It's going great. We'll see. Let's see what happens after we finish all this Brexit stuff, and then when you go and start buying properties and you're established, it's been 3-4 years. Then it's you've changed. You know. Oh, did you have that?
Yeah, just don't change.
Don't change. Well, but the whole point is you want to change.
No, like the amount we've changed, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just thinking different.
Yeah.
We've been just trained to think a certain way, to do certain things, and it's like a whole 20 or whatever years of undoing what we've just been taught, and the way of living to go to work. Like, it's not okay. It bothers me just as much.
Yeah. No, because I think that life is such a wonderful thing, but if you are so wrapped up in having in a rat race, and I am not anti-jobs. Like, I employ a lot of people. I employ myself. I'm employed. I'm on my own payroll. I'm not anti-jobs, but what I'm anti is having to go to work and dreading it. Exactly. So like when you came to the crash course, you were just dreading it. That we should not. No one should have to go through that.
I mean, that's probably the issue with mental health so much. It's just it's increasing so much, isn't it? The amount of people suffering from mental health, and I honestly believe it's from the whole system. Yeah. From this whole life that we're made to live, and that's why we were just like, let's just take a step out, because we were in the rat race, renting a property. We took a step out and we were like, the other side of the world, the way they're paid properly in Australia, they actually live life. Yeah. Like they do go to work, but the sun's probably a part of it as well. Yeah. Having the sun, like.
Yeah, the sun helps. Yeah. But then if you've got money though, you can then every winter you can go to Spain or go to travel.
We went to Fiji while we were there. Yeah. We were just able to just book it and go.
Yeah.
And Fiji's phenomenal.
So travel's a big part of your life.
Love it. Yeah. So heading to the Philippines this week.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And I think you're right. I think that it's not healthy for the brain to never be able to take a holiday. And that's why it's funny, because my upbringing, I grew up very working class. I wouldn't say really poor or anything crazy, but there was times single mom, we didn't have enough money for carpets in the house. So I've been there, and it's all relative. And part of my mission with the training is to help people who have been in a situation like I've been in, and it's sometimes people say, because I sometimes it's, for me, it's a scary and responsible filled position to be in when you've got people like you guys coming to the crash course and saying, you know what, we're absolutely skint, maybe struggling mentally, I don't know, but and saying, oh, and our bank loan that we're about to get married with, you know what, it's like, I could potentially ruin your life.
Yeah, no, it is.
Right.
So much pressure.
It is. So that's scary. But then I can look at the stats and see, well, look, these are the people that have been paid for the training, that I know statistically we have a very high success rate. I know statistically we have a very high satisfaction rate. Although as scary as it is, it's people like you guys that keep me going. So thank you for believing in yourselves, for believing in the training, and for putting the work in, because and when I say it's people, oh, it's so cheesy, but when I say your success is my oxygen, it is what keeps me going.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We're exactly the same though. We're even as small as we are, we're always trying to help people as well. Yeah. I mean, it's just a good feeling, isn't it? Yeah. And obviously we got people coming up to us and we're like, they're in trouble with where they want to live and stuff. Their situation at home changes, and we're like, I wish we had more HMOs to help.
move them in. Yeah, it is. Well, you've helped your brother, and the rippling effect of that, because you'll help people, and then they'll help people, and you know. So ultimately, we just want to leave the world better than we found it.
And we could never have done it without you.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Thank you so much.
Honestly,
Yes,
thank you.
Wow, I'm really grateful, and I'm really excited to be friends as well as your business trainer.
Yes.
And congrats on your success.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
You can't hold me down. You can't hold me down. You